Here it is, finally, the MLB Draft content you've been waiting for. I'm going to be giving you the best picks after the first round from every single team in Major League Baseball for the 2021 draft. I'm going to let you know when they were drafted, why they're good, their potential, and what I'm feeling about these guys. Every team had a good pick after the first round, so let's go ahead and highlight some of the guys who maybe aren't some of the bigger names in the draft, but dudes you should keep an eye out for, because as we know, you can find some absolute gems in later rounds. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. I put a lot of time and research into it, so it does help out the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Click that sub button, join the team. Get in the comment section down below. Let me know who you think was the best pick in the entire draft after the first round. And drop me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in description. And I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Jackpocket. Jackpocket allows you to play official lottery games like Mega Millions, Powerball, and other official state lottery games right through the app on your phone. And what makes Jackpocket great is it's so convenient. Everything's on your phone. Jackpocket gets your ticket. They send a scan to your phone and they let you know if you win. The Powerball jackpot is getting huge right now. It's $20 million and growing. Who doesn't want to win some money laying in their bed? I'd love to win a couple $1 million from my bed. And if I win, I'm gonna be buying some cars, maybe some baseball cards, maybe a house, a boat. And they have a variety of other games that you can play as well. The Pick 10 where you can win $500,000 and even Numbers Day and Eve where you can win $500. So make sure you click the link in the description down below, use the promo code MARC when you're signing up, and start playing on Jackpocket today. Thank you to Jackpocket for sponsoring today's video. For the best pick after the first round with the Cincinnati Reds, I'm going with Hunter Parks, pitcher out of Florence Darlington Tech in South Carolina. Junior college, he's 6'4", 187. They took him in the 8th round, pick 240. What I like about Hunter Parks is that he's got a pretty strong fastball, sits in the mid-90s, got good spin, and he has 3 solid pitches. Fastball, slider's pretty good, hovering around those mid-80s, and the changeup's a solid pitch too. Still needs to develop a 4th to really go to that next level, but for an 8th round pick, getting a guy with a fastball like Hunter Parks is a really solid pick for the Reds, who we know can turn anything into a great pitcher. For the Colorado Rockies, they have had some decent drafts recently. I really like the pick of McCade Brown, who they took in the 3rd round, 79th overall, out of the University of Indiana. Now, I know picking a pitcher for the Rockies is always risky, but McCade Brown, he's got stuff that reminds me a lot of Cade Cavalli of last draft, who I was super high on, has been flying through the Nationals farm system. Big, strong kid, 6'6", 225, really good fastball, can touch upper 90s, strong curveball, good slider, and working on that changeup, which is like, it's still there. I really like the pick of McCade Brown. It's gonna be hard though in Colorado to be good. For the San Diego Padres, I'm going with their 2nd round pick out of IMG Academy in Florida, James Wood. 6'7", 240 high schooler, plays outfield. You might have seen one of his at-bats where he was swinging with a wood bat and hit a ball about 500 feet. There's a lot to work with here. Super low floor, but also incredibly high ceiling. I like the tools that James Wood has, and his size is unbelievable. When he hits the baseball, it goes far. Just gotta make sure that he actually hits the baseball. But the potential's through the roof with this kid. For the Kansas City Royals, I'm also going with their 2nd round pick, pitcher out of high school from Blue Valley Southwest High School in Kansas, Ben Curdner. I have no clue how to pronounce this guy's name. What I can tell you though is he's got a really good fastball. Again, sits in those mid to high 90s, and he's got 3 solid pitches, a slider and changeup which grade 55 right now. The slider's got really good spin rate, good movement, and it's real sharp. And the changeup is a really nice pitch to throw against left-handed batters. Still trying to work on it a little bit more. Needs a 4th pitch to really go to that next level again. But Ben, whatever his last name is with a K, looks like a good pick for the Royals. Another 2nd round pick here coming in for the Los Angeles Angels, Kai Bush out of St. Mary's College, left-handed pitcher, 6'6", 240, and he's got some stuff that jumps off the page here. When you see a big left-hander like that who can throw in the mid to high 90s and has a pretty decent feel of his fastball, good command, you start to get excited. 55 grade slider, so it's got good break, pretty hard slider as well. Curveball and changeup are not that good. Technically has 4 pitches, not particularly strong, but I see those first 2 pitches there and I get excited. 6'6" lefty who can throw in the mid 90s, sign me up any day. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, their 3rd round pick of Peter Hoibeck, high schooler out of Gilman School in Maryland, starting pitcher, right-handed, 6'3", 170. He's super lanky. He's a little Gumby-like. Strong fastball, mid-90s. Nothing crazy off the page, but he has one of the best curveballs in the class. Some silly movement to that pitch. And scouts really like the makeup and what they can make out of this guy because of his frame. A little bit older as an 18-year-old going into the draft here, more so 19. But Peter Hoibeck, doesn't really matter. He's got good stuff. For the Minnesota Twins, their 2nd round pick, Stephen Hajar. Another hard name. Oh my God. Out of the University of Michigan, 6'5" left-handed pitcher. He's got really good stuff. His fastball, again, low to mid-90s. Doesn't jump off the page, but his changeup is one of the best changeups in the class. It's got huge swing and miss chances. He gets a lot of whiffs. He has big size. There's more to get out of Stephen Hajar. And the Twins, it's a nice little pick for them. For the Oakland A's, one of my best picks after the first round here in total of the MLB draft, Mason Miller out of Gardner-Webb in North Carolina. Right-handed pitcher, 6'5", 200. He's a 5th-year senior, so that's why he fell a little bit here. But oh my goodness, he's got really good stuff. And at the combine, he was exciting a lot of scouts. He's got got one of the best fastballs in the entire draft class, grade 70. It sits at a solid 95-96 and tops out over 100. Pretty good slider, pretty good changeup, but you see that top end stuff with that fastball and scouts start to go crazy, and I also went crazy too, which is why he's one of my favorite picks just in general of the MLB draft after the first round. For the Chicago Cubs, I'm going with Parker Chavers out of Coastal Carolina. Doesn't really have a position. He's an outfielder right now, but he could be a little bit of a utility man. The thing you like about Parker Chavers, really good athlete. He can run, and he's got some pop in that bat. Despite being small in stature, Parker Chavers can hit. At the combine, he was peppering the ball all over the place, hitting some shots. Ball seems to jump off his bat. I really like what the Cubs can make out of Parker Chavers here. For the Boston Red Sox, who had a fantastic draft, it was even stronger where in the second round, they took Judd Fabian out of the University of Florida, who was considered to be a top 20 player in the draft, and before the season started, maybe even a top 10 pick. While he does have some strikeout concerns, he has great discipline at the plate. He walks a lot, hits for power, is a great athlete, is going to stick in center field. He's a 5-tool player, and they got him in the second round. This might be one of the best picks of the entire draft class here. Now, for my favorite player out of the entire draft class, third round pick by the Tampa Bay Rays, Ryan Spikes. Hadn't heard of him before the combine, but as soon as I got there, I saw this guy playing. He's unbelievable. He's sick. Now, he is a little bit small in size, 5'9", 185, but he makes up for it in how he plays. Incredible bat to ball skills. He's got some sick pop. He reminds me of a lot of what Jose Altuve is like right now. Plays a good shortstop, but he's really going to be more of a second baseman. And the fact that the Rays took him just further cements that I was right about this dude. He is going to be really, really good. He's got crazy potential, good athlete, strong arm. Love this pick by the Rays of Ryan Spikes. For the Orioles, it was tough. Wasn't crazy about their draft, but Connor Norbie out of East Carolina, second round pick. A little bit Nick Gonzalez-ish. He's not as good, but he has the same idea in that he's a very good hitter, good bat to ball skills, fine fielder, fine athlete, little undersized, but he can hit. So nice pick by the Orioles. For the St. Louis Cardinals, I'm going with Joshua Baez, who is another one of these prospects who could have been a top 20 player, and to me, feels like Aaron Judge 2.0. He's absolutely massive. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, just turned 18 years old. He's a baby, and the Cardinals got him in the second round. I can't believe it. The power on this kid is crazy at 18 years old. I mean, hits absolute nukes. He has a cannon of an arm, can run well, good fielder, some issues with contact, but who does that remind you of? Aaron Judge. That's my Aaron Judge comp right here. Josh Baez. This could be such a sick pick. You saw the Cardinals do it with Jordan Walker. Now they got Josh Baez. For my favorite team, the New York Mets, let's go with a Canadian kid, Calvin Ziegler. A little bit small in size for a right-handed pitcher that they took in the second round, but Calvin Ziegler does something really well, and that's spin rate. All the scouts love the spin on this kid's stuff. His fastball, despite being 6 feet tall, sits in the mid to high 90s. His touch 97, 98. He's got a pretty decent slider. Still needs to find a third pitch where it's a little risky, but because he has those 2+ first pitches with some nice spin, there's a lot to work with here with Calvin Ziegler. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, Adrian Del Castillo, catcher out of Miami, competitive balance pick. Another one of these guys who before the season was a consensus, maybe top 10 pick in the draft. A little bit of a down year in college for the U. Dropped him a little bit here, and he's not that great of an athlete. He's basically stuck at the catcher position, where defensively he's not that great, but offensively he can be a plus hitting catcher. Bats left-handed, pretty decent power, but he's more so of an average guy, doubles. I can see why people are scared of him, but I like the idea that at the beginning of the year he was super highly touted, and he was able to fall to the Diamondbacks here. For the Toronto Blue Jays, Riley Terada is someone that jumped off the page for me. While he's a little bit of a man without a position, he was taken in the 12th round by the Blue Jays out of Dayton. At the combine, this guy just like hit different than everybody. He was part of that group that just hit the ball a lot harder and a lot further, and to me, if you're a guy who can hit a ball like that, they will find a spot for you. 4th year senior out of Dayton, like I just mentioned, 6'3", 195. The dude's an absolute house, and while he doesn't really play third base that well, he does have a pretty strong arm. I think Riley Terada could be one of these mid to late round picks that can come up pretty soon for the Blue Jays because he's just ready offensively. And by soon, I mean like next 2 or 3 years. For the Miami Marlins, their best pick after the first round, Jordan Mccants in the 3rd round. Marlins had a fantastic draft, and Mccants is part of it. Mccants had been flying up boards recently. He's a guy who has a very professional approach at the plate already at a young age of only 19 years old. Pretty good eye as well, good discipline. He can run for days. He's a good athlete and makes to be a top of the order middle infield guy. You get that kind of player in the 3rd round, it's a great pick for the Marlins. For the Bronx Bombers, the New York Yankees, I think their best pick after the first round was Brock Selvage, left-handed pitcher out of Arizona. He's committed to play at LSU, so you know this guy can pitch. He's gained a lot of velo on his fastball over the last year. He's been working hard, getting those spin rates up, and it showed at the combine where he was the best high school pitcher in my eyes, especially from the left-hand side. Fastball that can touch the mid to high 90s, talking 96-ish. Really good curveball, really good slider, great control, great command. He attacks batters. I just love the way this guy pitches. I think this is a great pick by the Yankees. For the San Francisco Giants, wow. Seth Lonsway in the 6th round. This was a dude who had first, second round potential last year, didn't end up going. I can't believe he dropped this far. He's got a sick curveball, maybe the best curveball in the class. It's a power curve, which you don't see too often. Really nice fastball and slider and a decent changeup. While his control is a little bit all over the place. He has probably some of the best swing and miss stuff in the entire class. You can fix the control. That's fixable. He has the stuff. Insane pick by the Giants here. Love it. Seth Lonsway from the Ohio State University. For the Washington Nationals, I gotta go with my boy TJ White. High school kid from the state of South Carolina. He's super young, just turning 18 years old. He's a switch hitter. He's 6'2", 210, and he crushes baseballs. At the combine, he was opening a lot of eyes. Power swing from right and left-hand side. Can play the outfield, good speed, all-around really good player. He was super undervalued, even going into college, as the University of Indiana got him from a hot baseball state in South Carolina. I really like this pick by the Nationals. TJ White is a beast. For the Texas Rangers, we're getting one of the few catchers on today's video. Ian Mahler out of Iowa, which is an interesting place to come from in the draft. High school kid, 18 years old, 4th round pick by the Rangers, was considered to be the best high school catcher in the draft class possibly. At least defensively, he's super strong, very good arm, good behind the plate, blocks and frames particularly well. Offensively, the contact isn't there, but the power potential you can see, and he's just not that great of an athlete. But I think at the catcher position, where you don't need to have the best athlete, Ian Mahler is going to end up being a really solid pick by the Rangers because he can do it all defensively and has the tools offensively to be solid. Pittsburgh Pirates, probably the best draft out of anybody, Bubba Chandler. Can't believe they got him in the 3rd round. He was a top 20 player in this draft, only fell because he's committed to Clemson to play football at quarterback, but you're getting a guy who could be a shortstop at the major league level, but more so is going to be a right-handed pitcher who's got really good stuff. Of course, he's got a good arm because, I mean, he's going to play quarterback at Clemson in college. Fastball in the mid-90s, can touch high 90s, really nice curveball, really nice slider, good changeup, 4 strong pitches at 18 years old. I think this is an absolute steal in the 3rd round to get Bubba Chandler. This was a guy who could have been top 20 without a doubt. For the Phillies, who again, another team who had a great draft, Pennsylvania dominated this year. Logan Cerny, outfielder out of Troy. Now, you might not have heard of him, but you should. He has some of the highest upside in this entire draft class because he's an absolute freak. He runs so friggin' fast. He's got some sick pop. He's a good fielder. Doesn't really hit for contact right now, but that's okay because when you run and field like he does, strong arm as well, and have the power potential that he's shown, you take the risk on him every time. And as a 10th round pick, I love what the Phillies did here. For the Chicago White Sox, their best pick after the 1st round, 2nd round pick, Wes Kath out of Desert Mountain High School in Arizona, 57th overall, left-handed hitting 3rd baseman, 6'3", 200 to go alongside Colson Montgomery. I can't believe they got these two guys back to back. I mean, these guys were as high as top 25 by some people who are ranking prospects. MLB Pipeline has Wes Kath at 34. While the power has not yet come yet, you can see with his frame, it's going to eventually arrive, and he's a pretty good fielder at 3rd base with a super strong arm. Nice pick by the White Sox. For the Milwaukee Brewers, they went with a lot of college bats, and one that I particularly like was Alex Banelas, 1st baseman, 3rd baseman out of Louisville, 3rd round pick. Banelas is a little bit of a man without a position. He's a corners guy, most likely 1st baseman, but he hits nukes. I saw him at the combine. He hits the ball incredibly far. You hit it like that as consistently as he does, I'm interested. Banelas, for a team that doesn't have a lot of great hitting prospects in the minors, I like the idea that the Brewers went super high power with Banelas. Ooh, the Atlanta Braves might be the pick of the draft for them here. Spencer Schwellenbach out of Nebraska. Now, he's a right-handed pitcher and shortstop, but it's expected he's going to pitch in the minors and at the major league level if he makes it there, which I think he will. Plus fastball, plus slider with a good changeup, great control, sits in the mid-90s. His slider is disgusting because of the arm slot he throws from, tunnels extremely well. This is a really good pick by the Braves here in Schwellenbach. Also, electric name. For the Houston Astros, they don't get a lot of picks, but in the 4th round, they took Chase McDermott out of Ball State. Not a baseball hotbed, but at 6'3", 197, right-handed pitcher with a fastball that can touch the high 90s. I really like that pick. Now, he really only has 2 pitches in that fastball and curveball, still working on a 3rd, so he might be more of a reliever arm, but if he can get that changeup up to a pretty decent pitch, there's a chance for him to be a back-end, middle-of-the-rotation kind of guy for the Astros, and again, just like the Reds, they fix pitchers, so I like the idea of getting this guy with high potential in Chase McDermott. For the Detroit Tigers, they took Isaac Pacheco in the 2nd round, 39th overall. I thought he had the potential to be a late 1st round pick, so I like their pick in terms of value. 6'4", 225, 3rd baseman out of high school in Texas. Texas just makes dudes differently. Like, that's so big for an 18-year-old kid. And the power and the arm and the glove, it all shows. He's going to stick at 3rd base. While they have Torkelson and some other guys in the minors that are going to block him a little bit here, Pacheco has the power and the arm to maybe move to the outfield in a corner spot. I like this pick here for the Tigers. For the Seattle Mariners, one of the most intriguing picks of the entire draft, Edwin Arroyo out of Puerto Rico in the 2nd round. He's only 17 years old, and he doesn't turn 18 for at least another month. What I like about Edwin Arroyo, weirdly, switch hitter, switch thrower, not that it matters, but that's super cool. And he's a really good hitter. Good bat to ball skills. The power still needs to come, but again, he's young, 17 years old at the time of being drafted. What's great about him, though, he had one of the best gloves in the draft class. Super smooth in the field. He's going to stick at shortstop for his entire career. At the absolute worst, you're getting a plus fielder. If the bat can come along here, Edwin Arroyo can be a really awesome pick by the Mariners, who has just one of the best farm systems systems in baseball. And then the last best pick after the first round here comes for the Cleveland Indians, which is going to be Tommy Mace, who is a competitive balance pick here, 69th overall, nice, out of the University of Florida, 6'6", 230. There's a lot more to get out of this guy, and the Indians are a pitching factory. I love that they got Tommy Mace. He has 4 pitches. The slider needs some work, but a strong fastball that can be in the mid-90s, good curveball, good changeup, and pretty good control. You see the frame of this kid. There's more to get out of Tommy Mace. I'm keeping an eye out for him with the Cleveland Indians. I got a feeling they're going to turn him into something special. Hint, hint, Shane Bieber. So those are my best picks for every team in Major League Baseball after the first round. I'd love to know what you think down in the comment section below. Who do you think is the best pick? Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. A lot of research went into this, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. And that's where I'm wrapping up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.